Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about two crucial states in the 2020 presidential election, these being the states of Iowa and Ohio. Iowa and Ohio were both states that went to Donald Trump in 2016, both by pretty large margins, especially considering the fact that Barack Obama had carried both of these states in 2012. And I will be continuing my series where I talk about specific states. In the past, I've talked about Texas quite a few times. I've talked about Florida, as well as the Rust Belt. Today, I'll be talking about the other two important Rust Belt states, the states of Iowa and Ohio. In the future, I'll talk about states like Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. So today, Iowa and Ohio. Iowa and Ohio, these are two very interesting states just because Ohio, of course, the national bellwether state. The winner in Ohio has gone on to become the presidential election winner in every single election in the past 60 years. Although, just because a candidate wins Ohio does not mean that they win the election, but it is a very good sign as to how the election is going to go if Ohio is called for either candidate on election night. In the state of Iowa, of course, is a very important state. Its 6 electoral votes can definitely swing the election if we see a scenario where, let's say, Biden wins Michigan and Pennsylvania, but Trump carries Wisconsin and Ohio. If Biden wins Iowa, he will win the election after winning all of the 2016 Hillary Clinton states. So Iowa, I think, will definitely play a big role in the election if this were to occur, but today Iowa and Ohio is going to be our main focus. So first I want to take a look at the polling averages out of these two states. First, out of the state of Iowa, where Trump leads by 0.9%, this state went to him by 9.5% in 2016. So him only leading the state by 0.9% is very disappointing for the Trump campaign, and I really think that they should definitely be looking into why this is the case, and definitely they should be pumping more ads into the state. He's only up 0.9% in a state that he won by over 9% in 2016. That is a 9% swing in favor of Joe Biden from 2016 and Hillary Clinton's margins. And Donald Trump has not really had a significant lead over him since the month of June. And, he was never able to replicate his 9% lead in the polls ever, basically, since Biden became the presumptive nominee. And Biden is now the official Democratic nominee for president in 2020. And looking at the polls here, Biden leads by 6 points in one poll, Trump leads by 1, 2, and 1. So Biden's best poll is now better than Trump's best poll in a state like Iowa. So I think that this is definitely a very bad sign for the Trump campaign and a very good sign for the Biden campaign. Iowa really is not too important to him. He has many more states that he could win with a larger chance than the state of Iowa. States like Florida are more likely to go to Biden than Iowa. Arizona is more likely. State like North Carolina is more likely. As well as basically all of the rest of it, and even Ohio is more likely to go to Joe Biden than the state of Iowa. But Iowa is very important to Trump. I don't think he can really win the election without winning the state of Iowa. So I think he should definitely focus a lot of time on this state. And then looking at the state of Ohio currently Trump leads by just 0.1%. Trump has actually retaken the lead in the last couple of days. Biden has been leading for most of August. 0.1% in a state he won by over 8% in 2016. That honestly is even more disappointing. And he was able to flip this state in 2016 by a pretty large swing from 2012. But now he hasn't even led in a poll from this state in the entire month of August. In the last poll, they were even. Then you have a Biden plus 2 and a Biden plus 4. So definitely, I think this is all a very bad sign for President Trump. He only leads by 0.1%. So on this map, based on polling data, Donald Trump would win these states of Iowa and Ohio, but there's still 3 months left, and it really depends on the turnout from these states. If more people turn out, Democrats are going to win. If less people turn out, then Trump is expected to win. But definitely, I think in 2020, such a consequential election, especially with the coronavirus and just many Democrats wanting to get rid of Trump, I think definitely turnout is going to be up for the 2020 election, and I think that is an especially bad sign for the Trump campaign. And then looking at 270 win, the state of Iowa's 6 electoral votes, they currently classify as a lean Trump state. Looking at the electoral history of the state of Iowa, this state has gone pretty consistently to the Democrats in recent elections. From 1998 with Michael Dukakis, it has gone to a Democrat since 2000 with Al Gore. And then, of course, George W. Bush flipped the state in 2004 against John Kerry by a margin of 0.6%, right there. And then Barack Obama flipped these two states back. He won it in 2008 and 2012. But in 2016, Trump flipped the state, carried the state by 9.5%, as you can see here, winning 51.2% of the vote. And he actually won the largest percentage of the vote in the state of Iowa in basically a couple of decades. Looking here, no candidate has been able to cross the 50% mark from the Republican Party. So Trump definitely did very good in the state of Iowa in 2016, but 2020, he is still expected to win. I still think he's going to win, but I think definitely that Joe Biden is going to pose a much stronger challenge in the state than Hillary Clinton did in 2016. Hillary Clinton was not popular, all around the country, and especially in this state. And Ohio has been able to predict the winner in the last 4 elections, really not too much. But looking at the state of Ohio now, 18 electoral votes, 270 to win classifies it as a toss-up state. Ohio has basically been right since the 60s. Looking back, basically all the election winners have won the state of Ohio. And this is just, honestly, I think it's just a coincidence. But definitely, I think that there is a correlation between Iowa voters and the national average. Ohio definitely does tend to vote near the national average, with the exception of 2016, when of course it did not happen, as Trump did not win the popular vote, but he did win 51.7% of the vote in the state of Ohio. So Ohio, honestly, pretty disappointing to see that Trump is losing in this state. Honestly, for his campaign, I think he definitely has to win this state. If he loses this state, I think many other states are going to go. I think that if he loses Ohio, North Carolina is going to go, Florida is definitely going to go, and Arizona is going to go. And if Ohio goes, well, let's give Joe Biden Ohio. Florida, he wins the election. North Carolina, even more. Arizona, he has 305 electoral votes. If Ohio goes, the Rust Belt is going to go. 351 electoral votes, that easy for Joe Biden. So Ohio, definitely, I think Ohio is going to be the bellwether again. I honestly think that if Joe Biden wins the election, he's going to carry the state of Ohio, even though he's losing the polls. But he is doing very well for a Democrat in the state at this point. Ohio has moved drastically to the right in the last couple of years, but I think Ohio is still going to go to Joe Biden. He did win the state with Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012. So I think that he is definitely going to be able to carry the state of Ohio by a very small margin, but still its 18 electoral votes I think are going to go to Joe Biden. So this is basically my analysis of the states of Iowa and Ohio. Sorry if I sound a bit rushed. I do not have too much time to get this video out today, and I apologize for that. But if you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like as well as subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate that. We are really close to hitting 400 subscribers, so if you could help me out, I would really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video.